The robber was about to threaten the bank manager when their pupils suddenly dilated. Strangely, the manager, who was just scared, suddenly spoke in a firm tone.
Give me the bag.
The robber, afraid, dropped his toy gun.
That's me.
It turned out that they had swapped souls just now. The robber looked at his own body in disbelief. He quickly grabbed the money bag and left the scene. Meanwhile, the manager was arrested. At this moment, the robber tried to sneak out through the back door, but he suddenly ran into a bank colleague. She grabbed the robber and expressed concern for his situation, but the robber wanted to escape as quickly as possible. However, his colleague discovered the money bag hidden in his arms. While the two were arguing, a police officer suddenly arrived. In the chaos, the robber and the officer locked eyes. The manager returned to his original state. His soul had transferred into the police officer's body, and the police officer's soul transferred into the robber's body. It turns out, the robber's soul swaps with another's as long as they make eye contact. The robber looked at his own body, feeling somewhat uncomfortable, so he called his girlfriend. But his girlfriend, hearing the unfamiliar voice, thought it was a scammer and hung up. Helpless, he decided to use his acting skills to mimic his former self, but no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't replicate his old self. The man's name was Harry. He was originally a low-tier actor. He had been repeatedly rejected in auditions for film sets, living in poverty, and his girlfriend often scolded him. He was forced to resort to robbing a bank, and that's when the earlier incident took place. He thought, since he couldn't prove his original identity, why not use his acting skills to control his new body? So he started practicing in front of a mirror. He was quite satisfied with his performance. Meanwhile, the real police officer was locked in an interrogation room, repeatedly explaining his identity, but the sheriff didn't believe him. It wasn't until the officer revealed a secret only the two of them knew, that the sheriff began to suspect something. At this moment, Harry arrived at a coffee shop. He wanted to order some food. He turned and saw the police officers outside. The officers recognized him too. Seeing the officers approaching, in a panic, he threw the bag into the counter. He grabbed the clerk and made eye contact with him. His soul transferred into the clerk's body. He grabbed the money bag, preparing to leave, but he was seen by the officers, so he quickly ran away. As Harry ran, he looked for his next body to swap with. Then, he suddenly laughed, because he saw a fitness guy running towards him.